Are you a math wizard? Do you love numbers? Have you tried calculating the chances of winning in a lottery? Would you like to know the easiest and the simplest way to do it? Then stay with us until the last part of this video. Let's get to know first our Ferrerian teachers behind this video. Miss Lauren Montealto is a grade 8 mathematics teacher who is the voice and the face behind this video. She, together with her colleague Miss Maros Noche, a grade 10 mathematics teacher who served as the director, editor, collaborated to come up with this winning instructional video during the Division Festival of Talents. Did you know that Timat Video is a contest among teachers wherein they have to create an interactive instructional videos which can be used in teaching mathematics? Come and join us in watching this instructional video especially designed for you. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
Uulan pa rin kaya bukas o aaraw na? Suspended kaya ulit ang klase bukas? Ano kayang susuotin ko? Kung maulan bukas,
talaga ang gumagawa ng sarili kong post. Sa totoo lang, ako.
Ayun, may pasok na. May bago na ulit ako matututunan sa math. Makaligo na nga. Bye!
In this video, we're gonna learn how to do math with things that only sometimes happen. They might be likely or unlikely. We're gonna learn about probability. What is probability? Probability is a branch of mathematics that measures the possibilities of a particular event to happen. Usually in math, we deal with things that always happen the same way. They're completely certain. Like when we add 1 and 1, we're always gonna get 2. And when we multiply 4 and 5, we're always gonna get 20. There's no uncertainty at all. But in the real world, things aren't always so predictable. Is it just like tossing a coin? Yes, it is an example of an experiment. Experiment is a chance process that leads to a well-defined result called outcome. We cannot foresee whether it will be heads or it will be tail. It's unpredictable. But even though we don't know what each coin flip is going to be, we do know a few things about it. We know that in a fair coin toss, getting heads is just as likely to show up as tail. The probability of an event, like getting heads or getting tail, is a value that tells us how likely an event is going to happen. With our coin toss, since each side is just as likely and there's just 2 sides to a coin, the probability of getting head is a fraction 1/2, and the probability of getting tail is also 1/2. Specifically, this probability is known to be their theoretical probability. Theoretical probability is a probability based on math concept and is expected to happen based on mathematics.
Let's look at this in a little more detail on something called probability line. It's a number line that goes from 0 to 1. Probability of 0 means that an event cannot happen. It's impossible. The probability of 1 means that an event is definitely going to happen. It's certain. That's why the probability line only passes from 0 to 1. An event can't be less likely than possible, and it can't be more likely than certain. A probability on 1/2 with our coin toss means that an event is just as likely to happen as it is not. A probability less than 1/2 means that an event is unlikely, and a probability greater than 1/2 means that an event is likely. Oh, and in addition to fractions, it is also common to write probabilities as decimals or percentages, since you can easily convert between those three. A probability of 0 is the same as 0.0 or 0% chance of something happen. A probability on 1/2 is the same as 0.50 or 50% chance of something happening. And the probability of 1 is the same as 1.0 or 100% chance of something happening.
Let's see an example of an event that is unlikely using a little more complicated than a coin. Take a look at the die. A standard die has 6 sides numbered 1 to 6. When you roll it, any of those sides is just as likely to come up as the other. Oh, that sounds like flipping a coin, doesn't it? Each side of the die is just as likely to come up as the other. And each side of the coin is also just likely to come up as the other. So, the probability of rolling a 3 is also 50%. No. Remember this.
With the coin toss, there were only 2 possibilities, heads or tails. With the die, there are 6 possibilities, and that's going to make a difference in its probability. One way to think about it is it's certain that one of those 6 sides will land facing upwards, which is a probability of 1 or 100%. But since only one side can face upwards for a given roll, we have to divide up the value among all the 6 possibilities. In the case of a coin toss, there were only 2 possibilities. We had to divide the probability by 2. 1 divided by 2 is 1/2, which in decimal is 0.5 or 50%. But with the die, we need to divide the probability up evenly between 6 possibilities. 1 divided by 6 is equivalent to 0.167 or 16.7%. So that would be right here on our probability line. That means it is unlikely that I would roll a 3 for instance, but it's just likely as rolling any other number.
And since all of these 6 numbers have the same probability, it should come up as often as the other. To see if they do, we're going to conduct a trial. A trial, which should also be called as an experiment, is a process that has a random outcome, like tossing a coin, rolling a die, and spinning a spinner wheel. And the outcome of this trial is the result of what happens in that particular experiment, like getting a tail or rolling a 3. So now, I'm going to conduct a trial by rolling a die for 30 times. The resulting probability is known to be the experimental probability. It is a probability that can be found by repeating the experiment and observing the outcomes. The experimental probability of each number after rolling the die for 30 times is as follows. 1 is 3 over 30 or 1/10. 2 is 4 over 30 or 2/15. 3 is 2 over 30 or 1/15. 4 is 9 over 30 or 3/10. 5 is 7 over 30, and 6 is 5 over 30 or 1/6. Aha! You said that each number would come up as often as the others. But look, There's more 4 than 2s. How do you explain that? Well, we're dealing with things that are random. They're unpredictable. We can't know exactly what will happen. Just what will happen in the average.
So now I have to calculate the average.
Well, when we say on average, we mean that the more trials we do, the closer we get to our expected probability. Keep on watching. There! Now that we've done a lot of trials, we can see that our totals are much closer than what we expect them to be. I guess you're probably right. That's really one of the important things that you need to keep in mind about probability. If you just do few trials, you may not end up very close to what you'd expect. In fact, that could be way off. But if you do more trials, you increase your chance of reaching the expected probabilities.
There's another thing I should point out. Remember the probability of flipping heads? It is 1/2, and the probability of getting tail is also 1/2. The probability of rolling a die is 1/6, and the probability of rolling another number is also 1/6. If you add up the probabilities for the coin flip, you get 2/2 or 1. And if you add up the probabilities of rolling a die, you get 6/6, which is also 1. And it's not just a coincidence. If you add up the probabilities of all possible outcomes of a trial, the total is going to be 1 or 100% because it is certain that at least one of those possibilities will happen. Alright, now you have a pretty good handle on basics of probability. Let's help Miss May decide where tourist destination should she go for her vacation. But before that, let us determine first what region the tourist destinations are located. Kalangaman Island, Leyte. Yes, it is at Region 8. El Nido, Palawan. It is at Region 4B. Batanes Group of Islands, Batanes. It is at Region 2, and Pink Island, Zamboanga City? Correct! It is at Region 9. Using the wheel of travel, give the theoretical probability of each tourist destination. Pink sand in Zamboanga. Correct, 1/4. Kalangaman Island in Leyte. Yes, it is also 1/4. Batanes Island in Batanes. Correct, another 1/4. And El Nido in Palawan. It is also 1/4. How about school for summer class? Oh, correct. 0 out of 4 or 0. Now, let's spin the wheel for 25 times and get the experimental probability of each. Now for your seat work. Answer the following questions in a sheet of paper. Number 1. John tossed a coin 60 times and the head appeared 25 times. What is the experimental probability of getting a tail? Number 2. JK rolled a die 100 times and the result showed that the number 6 appeared 32 times. What is the experimental probability of the die landing on 6? Number 3. A spinner with 8 sectors numbered 1 to 8 is spun 150 times. If the number 2 occurs 35 times, what is the experimental probability of getting a 2? Number 4. Given is a table of merienda bought by students in the canteen. Determine the experimental probability that the students bought pork siomai. For number 5, determine the experimental probability that the students bought arroz caldo. Okay, for the answers, number 1. Correct! It is 7/12. Number 2. You're right, it's 8/25. Number 3. It's 7/30. Number 4. Correct, it is 1/7. And number 5, it is 9/35. Now, for your assignment, you will group yourselves according to barangays where you live. Observe different situations in your community. Make one probability statement of that situation and write the probability, theoretically and experimentally of each.
Ang galing! May natutunan na naman akong bago ngayon. Ang probability na umulan o umaraw bukas ay katulad sa pagkuha ng probability ng head or tail sa isang coin. Excited akong pumasok bukas para sa panibagong lesson sa math. See you!